So, okay, well, let's start off with Limor.
Yeah.
Anything you want to share since your last journey?
I'm lost. I don't know where I can find you then. How are you? What happened since? Do I need to remember which card we were last?
No, just if you remember your words, that's always useful.
I don't remember nothing. I need a reminder.
Okay, doesn't matter. So maybe just anything about your week.
Okay, so what's happening? Well, I'm kind of getting ready for the equinox time. So I'm got all my materials everywhere. I'm doing my sewing. That's what I do on solstice. No, sorry, on where is it called? Eclipse. So it's a lunar eclipse on Sunday, I think. So in Taurus, which is in my sign. So I feel like maybe my path is into healing, because I remember how it was with Adina. And yesterday was a very funny session as well. I went to a life modeling class. And I didn't know anything. I just came because I was totally bored. And the model is a very strange story. She's a very young woman. She's the same age as my son. She's 21. And because her family had cancer, in breast cancer, her mom and her dad's family, she decided to do a prevention thing. So instead of waiting until the cancer hit her, she wants to meet it. So she's going through the normal medical research, and I think she wants to cut a breast before even it hits it. It's just so weird. So she does the modeling, and she wants to see what she's going to cut, really. And she wants also to maybe take her womb out, so she's not gonna have. So I was just trying to talk to her and tell her about the suggestion, but it just seems like I think the conversation we had, we need to put it a little bit louder. I think you were saying it, that there is not enough loud voice about homeopathic medicine or something. Is that right? To really kind of like promote more, positivity, I think.
How old is she, Limor?
21.
Okay.
Wow, young. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Limor. Yeah, Limor did amazing shamanic healing magic last week. She kind of got us all into this different dimension. We were in the 10th dimension. I don't know where we were. I didn't recognize where we were on this one. And she was singing. She was singing and doing all this chanting stuff. Yeah, she's wild. So lovely, thank you. And Adina, what would you like to share since last journey?
I suppose I believe the last journey was the negative card, isn't it? That we all so enjoyed because it was a funny one, and we all got to laugh at ourselves as well. And I have it in front of me. It says, "You think you're too perfect, and nobody's perfect." And then it was something about triggers, that if there's a trigger, then I won't respond. There was a few triggers. I think I'm slowly making progress. It's not like 100% progress, but I am making some progress there. And yeah, I think I am much more like trying to improve of not being triggered, or if I am triggered, I will take my time and then it goes. And also I remember a few weeks back there was the health symbol, and since then I got back into the habit of doing a juice every day. Even if it's just a small juice, I make it, and I feel much better for it, actually.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Yeah, good. Sounds positive. Cool. Yeah, we've got to keep on working slowly in the right direction. And what about Nadine? How's your journey been?
I think the last one was from Spain, where only Limor and us was. So I worked on motivation, and I chose yoga because I chose motivation in general, but then I thought I need to work on something specific. And then I thought I haven't done yoga for a long time in the mornings. And actually, yeah, the last week, I thought I'm still not very motivated, maybe because of the weather or whatever, but actually I did like 3 times yoga at least. So the mind steps really helped, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, that was quite good. What else? Oh, that's it actually.
That's great. Yeah, because Nadine was saying to me today, she was saying, oh, my motivation hasn't really changed. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I was working on my motivation last week and nothing's happened. I said, yeah, but you've done yoga 3 times. Or she goes, yeah, but you know, that's not what I wanted to do. It's 5 times a week. So I reminded her that, you know, like not to have over expectations, and also to validate what you're doing, not what you're not doing. So it was a big, it was actually a big success. And I told her as well, you know, that's only 1 session. When you're learning something, you don't have 1 lesson in tennis, you know, or something. You have hundreds of lessons. So if you want to keep on, you can use the same word again and again and again, and you keep on learning more about it. In fact, in Frido, it doesn't actually matter what word you choose. You could use the same word for the rest of your life, and you will still learn everything from that 1 word. I'm not saying you should, but you can. Everything is in every single word. But it's sometimes the reason for choosing certain words, sometimes because it makes sense to us. It's like, yeah, I want to choose that word because that makes sense to me, to you, because I want to improve that word. I want to let go of that word. I want to do something. And some people just do random. Sometimes it's quite good to do random. Like Nadine said, oh, she can't choose random. You know, she likes to have a reason for choosing a word. And I say, sometimes it's good for that reason to choose a random one, because sometimes that can surprise you and it can take you out of your controlling thinking, you know, sometimes. But anyway, just different viewpoints. So, Nadine, Limor, Magic. So you want to share anything since your last journey?
I mean, the last journey was, I was working with the negative card, and so it was quite funny during the process, I mean, the session. But after, I tried to implement like, because the sentences which I wrote it down during the session was like, believe in yourself, you bloody fool, organize yourself, you loser, and so on. So I was doing it, but this was like create some kind of drama, so to say, with other people. Yeah, with especially with one which is very toxic one, as I need, because of this brought me of the sentences and this journey, it brought me to this like egoistic mode that I was just focusing on myself, wanted to like clean my house, prepare everything for the new something, you know, but the people were just like, can you come, can you help, and so on and so on, and I needed to like say no, which always was like a, so to say, problem for me. But in polite way, I like refuse. And this one person, it's quite difficult one, was just like sending me his swollen feet, you know, can you help me, you know, with this? And I said, not today, I can come tomorrow. And then was trying to, you know, to use different techniques that if I can organize someone else, you have these friends and so on. And I knew those friends are busy also with some kind of stuff. So it was really difficult. And at the end, you know, this expression, okay, I will not ask ever again and so on. I say, okay, fine. You know, I'm okay with that. Even if this person is in like a trouble, so to say, but I'm not really sure if it was just like a, maybe a way of, you know, convincing me and creating this kind of shame, you know, or blame or whatever, which I recognize it from my perspective like this. And I just said, okay, I don't need to answer, it's fine. But it created in my mind some kind of this feeling, you know, I should do it, you know, but eventually I get over it somehow. And I don't talk to this person at the moment, but I know this, I have some belongings which I need to give it back eventually, you know, like a book or something. So it was occupying my mind lately for a few days, you know, how I will resolve this without going back into this not really exchange, you know. And still I'm focusing on myself and creating positive thoughts, you know, a little bit meditation, breathing techniques and so on, music like bachata and so like in the background, which gives me this state of being myself instead of feeling what other people feel, you know. So that was like my experience and journal for the last 2 weeks, maybe, I think.
Okay, that's cool. It sounds like a good breakthrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, cool. I know what you mean. So that's cool. Yeah, sometimes you feel guilty about that, but you know, yeah, just keep on sending out a nice feeling, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we're going to be working on this card today. So conscious. So it's part of the mind family. Like we worked on the mind last week, the mind steps. So it's part of the mind family, the conscious. It's the female, let's say, aspect. It's actually the very active. It's an active kind of energy. And you can see on the card, like there's a character stretching themselves and kind of, you know, stretching out of their comfort zone, let's say. So this is really practicing to stretch out of our comfort zone. Last week, when we did the mind steps, do you remember there was a big step? The one in the middle was like the big step. This is the big step. So this card represents that big step that there's always going to be a bigger step somewhere in our journey. You know, it might not be crazy. It might be just a bit more challenging. It's just where we have to kind of just expand ourselves a bit more. You know, if we don't expand ourselves, we can't really, you know, come out of where we are. So we have to kind of have this energy of expansion. I don't use the word pushing because it's not really pushing. It's more expanding. It's kind of stretching and expansion. It's not the birth card. The birth card is more about pushing. You know, that's that very pushing energy, but this is more about stretching and expanding, stretching oneself a bit. Yeah, and then we've got the fist underneath, which is like our soul, our own soul, whole, you know, always there for us, always reminding us, you know, our soul is there for us. We might fall over, but our soul will just always be there, you know, underneath us. So that's quite a nice energy. It's lovely, isn't it? It's like when it's nice because when you, whatever challenges you're going through, like if you've got someone who loves you, like I've got my mother, for example, you know, whatever challenges I've gone through in my life, she's always been there. She's that fist, you know, she's always been there. So it's always supported me. I've always had that feeling of support through all different challenges in my life. And some have been big challenges, but without her there, or without that feeling of support, I would have probably crumbled, maybe. So, you know, it's really having that feeling, whether it's from somebody or something, that kind of gives us that feeling of, you know, I'm there, I'm always there for you no matter what. So that's a powerful feeling. Yeah, if you want to, you can close your eyes if you want me to read out the card. So conscious expansion. This is about feeling motivated and making an effort, going out of our comfort zone, yet still feeling safe and supported to do so with feelings of trust. We live in a world of structure and order. To build something, we need to stretch ourselves and push something new into our reality. To build muscles and stamina, we must increase our physical challenges. To create new ideas, we must break boundaries. Stretch out of your comfort zone, knowing and trusting in yourself as you leave what you know to step into a world of possibility. I expand into my new reality. I expand into my new reality. I expand into my new reality. So make sure you feel safe in your situation before pushing yourself out of your limiting belief. Never overstretch. Gently, little by little, edge a bit further in a direction you want to go. So it's a tricky one, this, because it's like doing yoga or stretching or something. And it's like, you don't want to overstretch, yet you kind of have to somehow stretch more than before, let's say, but, you know, still feeling comfortable that you can do it. So you're not going to hurt yourself. So there's that fine line when you're stretching yourself out of something old, not to hurt yourself, pull a muscle, you know, create some trauma. At the same time, if you don't do it enough, nothing happens either. It's like taking little steps then. It's like the little tiny steps. So it's trying to get that kind of balance. So, okay, so we choose a word that you can work with today. Have a think about it. Could be a random word. It could be a word that is happening for you. You want to look at, explore. Could be a word you want to improve. And give yourself a percentage for that. So if you're teaching other people the percentage, you know, let them do the kinesiology. I'll always encourage to do that anyway, to check in with your body as well as your mind. So get into the habit of doing both, like think about it, and then also check in with your kinesiology, your body. And if somebody's not sure, don't stress, don't worry about it. Just kind of let them have a number. I find a very powerful thing is to be light, playful, light about it. Like when don't get too serious, especially if you're doing on other people as well. If they get a bit stuck on something, just try not to make it too serious for them, because that can make them a bit stuck. Like be a bit light about it. Like it's okay, any number's fine. You know, any word's okay, it's perfect. And also when you're taking someone through something, again, try and lose the expectation of what you think should happen for them. It's like, You know, you might think, oh, they should be doing better, or they should get what you're saying. It's like, you know, try and lose all that idea and just kind of follow the practice and see what happens when you get to the end. Some people say to me, oh, nothing much happened at the end of a journey. And I said, that's fine. You know, just keep an eye on what happens over the next week. And more often than not, something will happen for them. So you've got your percentage. And so we're going to do the first exercise. It's the mind exercise in Frido. I call it mind attention. So we're going to put our attention on something that's going to give us some answers. So because conscious is the yang energy, subconscious is the yin energy we'll be working with next week, but today is the yang energy. So we're looking at things outside of ourselves rather than inside. We're looking for answers outside of ourselves. Our mind isn't only in our head, you know, it's all around us. If you think about this concept, your mind is not stuck in your head, you know, it's everywhere. So we're going to find some answers from outside of ourselves. So write down 3 objects around you that can represent your symbol. So we're going to be looking for answers in these objects. The universe has got all the answers also. So then what I'll do is, if you can move yourself physically close to the first one, or one of them you've chosen. So either bring it towards you or go towards it if you can. Just be as physically close to it as you can. The first object you've chosen. And then begin to observe that object just to begin with. So just observe it, explore it. So I'm going to kind of go through with one of you first of all. So let's pick Limor. What one object have you chosen? What's your first one?
My chair.
Your chair. So observe it. So if you can describe it to us.
So it's got wheels, and it's got hand support. So it's got like, I forgot what you call it. And it's got back, and it's black, and it's a bit bouncy. And it actually lean quite a lot of back. You can actually lean really back. You can almost fall. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. And what's the purpose of the object? So that's my next question.
It's to support me.
Yeah, that's lovely. So it's to support you, right? It's its job. And now, how can you relate the object to your symbol? What's your symbol, for example?
The word is support.
Oh, is support. So how can you relate your chair to your word?
I don't understand.
Can you see the connection between your objects you've chosen and your word you've chosen? Are there any similarities? Can you connect the two of them together?
Yeah, I mean, the idea is that it supports me, so it's holding me.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, because that's right. That's perfect. Okay, so just hold it there. We don't want to get too carried away with the information. We're just gathering some information at the moment. So what I've understood by your exploration with your chair, that your actual support, your symbol of support actually supports you. So that's what I'm so far hearing. Your support supports you. It sounds very logical, of course. It's like it's a stupid comment in some way, but you know, your support supports you. That's what it's there for.
No, it's not stupid at all.
Oh, thank you. That's nice. Yeah,
No,
exactly.
because sometimes, like, we have friends, you think they will support you, but sometimes they're just disturbing you, you know?
Or they just fall back and let you fall over
Exactly.
like your chair.
You
Okay,
know,
that's lovely.
they just think that you're supporting them. They don't think that they can need to support you, right?
Mhm.
So it's not both ways.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, let's go with Adina for another object. One of your objects, Adina, maybe.
So it's my diary.
Okay, so if you can describe your diary to us. Oh, that's juicy. We want to know everything.
Yeah.
So I've recorded it. I'll read it later.
That's fine. That's fine. So my symbol was actually trust without me knowing that which card was going to come up today. So this was my symbol, trust. And then this one of the objects is a diary, because by writing down things, we can bring more consciousness into everything. So raising consciousness about what is going on in the mind.
That's nice.
And the other one was one of the pens.
Oh, no, come back to the diary.
Okay.
So the diary is much more interesting for me. So you've describe it to me again. Is there anything you haven't described it to us? If you can describe that to us, your diary.
Oh, okay. This diary it's got a nice feel to it, and a nice color. It's almost a bit like a leopard kind of pattern, but it's not. It's just kind of dots, and it's got some a nice feel to it. And it's got a few pages that are halfway through.
And what's the purpose of it?
The purpose of it is to support me in a way that I can write down things which are on my mind, and to just express them.
Okay, that's lovely. And how can you relate this to your symbol?
So it's a place where I can just trust myself, and I can be honest with myself fully.
Okay, that's nice. So can you connect that to your life, like trust in your life, like in that similar way? Like
Yeah, it's something that I can fully trust that it will be there anytime.
Okay, that feels quite nice. It feels like it's a bit like if I was your diary, you could share anything with me. If I was representing your diary, and then you would feel a lot of trust because you could share everything with me, and I'm holding all that personal kind of information and depth about you, because your diary knows about you more than probably anyone else does. So in many ways, you've got the deepest connection with your diary than anyone else, unless you share exactly the same things with someone else. It's a very intimate kind of connection. And I think that's what feels like for me personally. That's what I feel like trust is. It's like when you've got your diary, or you've got somebody or whoever you can share that intimacy with, that honest, open intimacy, just like you would into a diary, and they do the same back to you. That's trust, isn't it? For me, it's like, well, there's trust because you're opening yourself honestly and openly to each other. You know, there's nothing hidden. You know, it's funny because in a diary, things are normally hidden from other people. It's like it's private. So if I'm like with Nadine, she's my partner. If she's like a secret, like a diary, and I don't really know what's going on for her, we don't really have a deep connection then. You know, the depth is when she shares everything with me and I share everything with her. We become each other's diaries in many ways. But that's nice. Thanks, Adina. Do you want to share anything?
Yeah, I mean, although with the diary, sometimes I used to think when I was a child, or like if someone finds the diary, then maybe I should not share everything in it.
Oh,
That's one thing. And also like whether I use a diary as often as I could. And no, and probably no, I don't.
yeah. Okay.
So just.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it feels very relevant to trust.
I mean, the other thing to do is to write in your language so that nobody can read it. I write in Hebrew, so nobody, I didn't teach my kids Hebrew, so they can't read my diaries.
Very secretive.
Yes, exactly. I'm thinking that, but then I'm thinking like if, you know, my family found a diary, like if I died, let's say, then they will be able to read that. So
I've got my mum diary and I don't know which language it is.
See, it's amazing, isn't it? It feels like there's a lot of lack of trust. Like, oh, if someone reads my diary, you know, I don't trust them to read it. Or
But at the same time as I always think I don't care about that. So
yeah, exactly.
But you know, Sophia was reading her grandma diary. No, a grandma. No. So it's Dean's mom's mother or something. Yeah. Great grandmother diary. And she found it amazing. She was so interested in that. Like when she fell in love with his granddad and how they met and everything. She just wrote in a diary. She was like, and it's so interesting for the next generation to read it.
Maybe your mom's diary is in Hungarian, Limor. We can talk about that later.
Okay, that's nice. Anyway, that sounds beautiful. And Magic, what's your pick an object?
I picked like a small bag with the resins, the Boswellia resins inside.
Okay, so just briefly describe that a little bit more if you can, so we understand what we're looking at.
Yeah, so this is like a bag and inside a small resin which you can burn, and they giving you like a smoke, nice smell of it. And yeah, and it's like a half of it is still there, and smells really nice. And when I'm holding it, it's a little bit like dust is coming out, and my hands I can smell it. So yeah, it's quite soft, I will say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the purpose of this object?
The purpose.
This is the next question. So the first question is describe it, like its color, its shape, its size, its texture, its weight. And then the second question is what's the purpose of it?
So the purpose of it is to hold something inside.
To hold something inside. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To hold something in one place that it will not. That will be like in order, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And then how can you relate this object to your symbol, your chosen word?
So my symbol is blame.
Blame.
And it's quite difficult, I think, to relate to it.
That's okay. That's good. That's what that's showing you. It's showing you. That's right. It's difficult to understand blame at the moment for you. It's hard to understand it. There's a lot of shadow probably in there. So that's why you can't quite see in your object how this relates to blame. But if we look at it a bit deeper, we might find something. We might not. I mean, it might come up in the other objects, but Like sometimes, for example, you know, holding blame in one place. Like sometimes we hold blame in one place, like on one person is to blame, or I'm the one to blame. So maybe we're holding like blame in only one area where there could be more. There are more other areas. Like we might blame ourselves, whereas actually there's also blame outside of ourselves. Like in your situation with this guy, you know, there's some blame that you feel, but there's also he can take some blame in that process as well.
Yes.
Something like this, and vice versa. You might blame somebody, but maybe then you're not seeing your own part to play in that blame as well, perhaps. Maybe. Okay, it's good. It's just really exploring it. It's not easy. It's not always easy because, you know, we'd know it otherwise if it was that easy. So Nadine.
My object is a necklace. I don't know in English. It's in German. It's Bernstein. I don't know what it's called in English.
It's amber.
What?
Amber. Yeah.
Could be. Okay. So it's like the color is like golden, like almost honey color, of like a honey color, golden color. Yeah, they are crystals, like little stones. Yeah, so that's what I would describe it.
Okay.
And the purpose, I mean, the purpose is it's either like some people wear it because they just like to wear it, like say fashion or whatever, or they give it their children if they have a toothache, something can also help with that.
Okay. And how can you relate that to your symbol?
That was quite difficult because my symbol is understanding. So it took me quite a while, but then I thought, like, even if it's like, it looks quite that every stone is same, but if I look like if I look very close, every stone is different. So I thought, yeah, regarding understanding, it's like, yeah, we're just all so different, and it's just about trying to understand each other.
That's nice. Yeah, rather than just looking at the whole necklace and thinking, we understand it. It's just a necklace.
Yeah.
But when you look in more detail, it's a lot more. It's not just number one. It's not just a necklace. It's to help your child when they've got a bad tooth. And like I said, every stone's different. It could have a different meaning. You think you understand it, but maybe you don't. When you look closer, it's maybe something different. You didn't understand it was maybe amber, you know. So it's like there's a lot more than meets the eye with everything in life. So that's understanding. So to understand, we need to go more deeply, more detailed. Not maybe like, because sometimes we just look at something and think we understand what it is, a chair, you know, a church, a religion, a person. It's like, oh yeah, I understand Gary Limor. I know I understand Limor. That's a ridiculous thing, isn't it? I understand Limor. It's like, no one understands Limor. But I'm just saying, there's so many aspects. So understanding just goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's like, I would say, if you think you know what something is, you're stuck. You've lost, you know, that's it. You don't understand it. So as soon as you think you understand it, you don't, because there's more depth to everything in life. Anyway, that's nice. Nice. Okay, let's go back round to Adina. We'll do another one more round.
Yeah.
So yeah, so go through another object for us.
Got this stick for the singing bowl stick.
Okay, yeah, so it's a stick. It's heavy. Is it light? Is it long? Is it short?
20 centimeters wooden stick to play the singing bowl.
Nice. So its object is to play the singing bowl. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how can you relate that stick to your symbol?
It just brings me back into the present moment through the singing bowl. Brings more presence into the moment to stay here rather than letting the mind wander away.
Nice. Yeah. That's nice. And do you trust the stick?
Yeah, but to be honest, when you said choose 3 objects, I've just chosen them randomly, not like should we choose the objects which kind of relate to the symbol?
It doesn't matter. I mean, I did say choose 3 objects to represent your symbol, but you might not have heard that, but that's okay. But it actually doesn't matter. Sometimes it's easier if you begin with looking for objects to represent your symbol, because you've already got, there's a reason why you picked that. So it's a bit easier for you to relate it, maybe. So when you pick a random one, it's a bit more challenging maybe to relate to your symbol. But it doesn't matter. It's just a bit more creative thinking, like your stick. That's why I said, do you trust your stick? Do you trust it will do the job?
Yeah. Sorry, I might have missed that detail. But that's okay, because this is good. And yeah, I do trust the stick, because the stick is not going to do anything, and I am in control of the stick.
You're in control of the stick. The stick's not rotten. It's not going to break. It's also built, you trust, because you know it's going to do the job. You know it. It's like, it's not something you're not sure about. It's like you're quite certain that stick will do the job.
Yeah, and it has been with me for many years, and it's always there.
Right. Okay. So that's another reason to trust it, because you've had it for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't go anywhere, and it still does the job, regardless of whether I take care of it or not. It's always there.
It's always there. That's really nice. It's a bit like a friend. It's easier to trust an old friend than a new friend, when someone's been in your life a long time. So that's nice. It's quite interesting. Yeah.
And it's consistent. So there's no questions about, what is happening. It's always.
Yes. You've got no doubts that stick is always going to be there for you, and it will always do the job that you expect of it. Kind of thing. Okay. That's interesting. It's powerful. To do with trust. And Limor, how about you? Another object?
My bed.
Your bed, yeah. So just briefly describe your bed.
It's very comfortable.
It looks colourful.
Yeah, that's the material I'm sewing. It's everywhere now.
Okay. And is it quite solid? Is it heavy?
I'm not laying underneath the bed. I'm just laying on the bed, so I don't feel the weight of the bed. But the bed takes my weight.
Yeah. Is it quite a solid bed, or is it made of a good material, like a solid material?
I need to get a new bed, but
okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
So when you say you're going to get a new bed, is that because it's not doing the good enough job?
It's just an old bed. It's just like I always had it. It's like about time I get something new. Like it's mine. It's not.
Oh, I see. Oh, so it's yours. Do you mean that's not yours?
No, this is like since I was married. I still got the same bed. I should really change the bed, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. Not that the bed's bad, but you just feel like maybe it's time just to have your totally own bed that was never. Okay, yeah, I understand that. And of course it's there for, what's its purpose for you?
It's to support my sleep.
To support your sleep. Okay. Can you relate that to your symbol of support?
Yeah. It supports me because when when the day is finished, I just get into my bed and it's.
Got you. And your
And
ex-husband,
he got me.
and your ex-husband, did he support you? Is he a good support for you?
No, not at all.
No.
Well, no. Well, you know, he's okay, but I just don't try not to get any.
I get
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
he even takes my little boy, take him to school, but then he always say horrible things about me to him, and my son said he doesn't want him to take him anymore.
So
'Cause
therefore, he's half supporting and half not.
exactly. So it's like you don't want his support because it's
You'd
so.
rather not his support if he's going to do that. Yeah, I understand what you mean. And also, your bed is a bit funny. Again, it's a bit of a funny one because
Yeah.
you're sleeping in a bed that actually, really, you bought that bed you bought for both of you. So this is like, you know, representing your partnership together, that bed, in many ways.
Hmm.
So it still can carry that energy, that symbolism.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not, you know, the symbolism of that bed is not supporting you because half of that bed is your husband, your ex-husband.
Yeah.
So that part of the bed maybe is not supporting you
Mm.
so well. So yeah, when you said maybe it's time to get my own bed, maybe that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds quite powerful, actually. Yeah, very symbolic. Things hold a lot of symbols. They really do. So that's cool. Okay, so magic, another object.
So another object is like a Bluetooth speaker.
So just
it,
first question is just describe it like you're describing it to a child.
okay, so it's the purpose of it is to
And no, before the purpose, just the description of it, like what we see and feel.
okay, so I feel that is quite heavy. The color is red and nice, like a real. I can put like a really nice grip, and you need to function first. You need to charge it. Otherwise, it have no function. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And then
yeah.
the next question is, what's its purpose?
Yeah, purpose is to connect to any device so you can hear the noise or the music much more louder than from the device, and you can move around your house so you don't need to carry the device with you, just a speaker.
Yeah. And how can you relate that to your word symbol?
Yeah, so my symbol blame, with this one I already find some connections. So because it is quite heavy for such a small object, so to say, so it's quite heavy, and as I said, first you need to give him, this object, some energy, otherwise it wouldn't work. So comparing it to the blame is quite the same, so to say. So without paying attention to the blame, it wouldn't really affect you, probably, as I see this with myself from my experience. And blame can be quite noisy, yeah. And what else? Yeah, you can carry it around everywhere because this is like a yeah, object which it's like a portable one. Yeah,
you can carry blame around with you.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Interesting as well. Very interesting. I like when you said like when you give blame a lot of attention, you're actually giving a lot of power.
Yes.
And it can be quite loud, blame, you know, because you can hear it in your head, can't you? It's like that's why we feel guilty, in fact, you know, because we're being blamed for something. Often our parents do it to us, you know, we feel very guilty. because they start, saying things, you don't ring me anymore. And it's like loud noise in your head. And I agree with you, because when my mum's tried to do that, or anyone's tried to do that, I just take my attention off of that, what they're trying to do, and it loses the power.
Yeah, because everything is about these emotions which are in you, in yourself. Yeah, as we know, they are not outside, and we are giving those emotions power to be alive, so to say. Yeah, without paying too much attention to something, it have no power. Actually, it's losing power.
That's true. It might, yeah. Nice, and thank you. And Nadine?
I have a bit of a funny object, because I just chose like something which was on the bed. That was like B12 tablets. I actually took them from my auntie when I was there, because she just didn't took them. So I thought I might take them. So yeah, it's like 100 tablets. Yeah, vitamin B12. It's like a pink and white packaging with 100 tablets in it.
Okay, and what's its purpose?
It helps people, especially vegans, to get their vitamin B12 as a supplement.
Okay, that's great. And how can you relate your object to understanding?
Maybe if I understand my or if I don't know, if I understand my health, or my if I understand my health, then I can react in a way, what is the word, in an appropriate way. Like if I know, okay, if I have a vegan diet and I might have a lack of B12, so I can just give my body B12, and then hopefully it functions better. Or
yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's very logical what we're saying here. It's kind of quite logical, obviously, if you want to understand something in your life, or if you want not understand it, if you want to improve something in your life, let's say your health or your relationships or your confidence, it's like you've got to understand it. It's the same as like, I've got to understand, maybe if I'm a vegan, I need certain nutrients perhaps, or blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of very logical. It's like, if I want to be able to start make my car engine work, I've got to understand how it works. And the thing about a car engine, it's very complex. There could be something not working. It could take me a long time to find out what it is. Or sometimes there's a leak in my boat. And it's like, because I don't understand where it's coming from, it's amazing sometimes how hard it is to find that stupid little leak. And it's amazing because I think I understand where it's coming from and I try and fix it and it's still leaking. It's like, that's frustrating because I think I understand where it's coming from or what's happening, but I obviously don't because it's still leaking. And in our life, that often happens. It's like we try and sort something out or we try and make something better. But the fact is, if it doesn't get better, we're missing something. I might have fixed something to do with the leak, but it's still leaking. Maybe it's got a bit better, the leak. But the evidence is showing me I haven't understood something. So in our lives, if something's not going the way we want it, when we're not understanding it. It's very logical, but then how do we get to understand it? It's like as soon as a mechanic comes to me and says, "Hey, Gary, did you know you need to check your spark plugs?" And I say, "What are they? I never heard of them." And then I change them and it's fixed my whole problem. Or there might be something very small, like some weird thing. Sometimes my mechanic says, have you got a this or that or the other? I say, I don't know what that is. I've got no idea what you're talking about. Like a little thing, in the engine or a little whatever, a valve. And he said, well, yeah, that could be causing your whole problem. So sometimes it could be very small things we need to understand. So all our situations in our lives are a bit like a car engine or boat engine. and they're very complex. So when things like your blame situation with your friend's Magic, you know, it's complex. And so you need to really, you know, to sort that out, you need to fully understand every detail in that situation. And with Nadine, you know, like when she's looking at her, trying to get motivated to do yoga, you don't just have one lesson. You're not going to understand how to get motivated in one lesson, probably. Very doubtful. So, you know, you keep on learning. So I think by just observing that there's so much for us to learn and understand, we can keep on going. And if we've got a way to do it, so this is one way. This is a great way to learn. You know, those missing pieces of information. It's a bit like the steps, because this is part of the steps kind of mind. And it's like if there's a missing step in any part of our journey, we're going to have a problem. We're not going to be able to complete it. So whether that's, you know, so anything that's not going perfectly in our life, there could well be these missing steps of understanding. And the problem is with these particular steps, these are the bigger steps, the more challenging steps, the ones that are more shadowy for us. So maybe we don't want to really look at those steps. You know, the first 5 steps we can look at, we can identify. But this bigger one is big for a reason. If it wasn't big, it wouldn't be a problem. You know, we wouldn't even be thinking about it. It wouldn't be a challenge. We would get there. You know, we'd be at our destination if the step wasn't big. So if we're not where we want to be, and we've tried, you know, we've done things, we've tried, and we're still not there, it's probably more than likely that we're not observing these bigger steps that we need to take. We're not, because we don't want to look at them. They're a bit uncomfortable maybe, or something like this. So, you know, we're looking at these more uncomfortable kind of steps right now in this card, the ones we've got to push ourselves a bit more. And that's why Magic, they're sometimes hard to observe in the object, because, you know, we're a little bit blinded. We don't want to see them too much, which is a shame, because once we see them, they're not that bad. In fact, it's like, you know, it's like once you've jumped, you realize it's not that bad. Actually, that wasn't so bad. Now I've done it. So this exercise is great, because once we identify what those steps are, it's like, okay, that wasn't too bad. That makes sense. That feels okay. Suddenly to pass the blame onto this other person or whatever.
Yes, I agree with this, because through this blame, shame, trying on me, I realized lots of things from my childhood, why I behave like this, why I took this without telling like stop or no. Even if I have time, like even if I could abandon my stuff like cleaning house and this is me, and I should like be free of telling no, I don't want to, you know. So and this came back to my childhood, which really I process in the last 2 weeks. A lots of stuff came out, and this now what we are doing now, it's like I can assume I can go even more deeper to some kind of feelings, because I was trying to feel as I was feeling when I was a child. And this exercise actually, I pretty sure could help me a little bit to go much more deeper with this.
Yeah. Okay, that's nice. Good. Thanks for sharing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the body exercise. So that was the mind exercise. And now we want to put it into practice in the body. It's hard enough in the mind, but now we've got to kind of do it in the body, push our body a little bit out of its comfort zone. So write down 3 things that you can do that's going to push your boundaries a bit. It's going to push you out of your comfort zone. 3 things that you could do in your whenever, today or tomorrow, whenever now. Now it could be something physical. So it could be like 10 press-ups, if that's going to be a bit challenging for you. Or it could be lifting a heavy table. or jumping up and down in front of us all, screaming. Or it could be something where you're going to make a phone call. You know, you're going to tell somebody, maybe you love them, maybe that's uncomfortable, or you hate them, maybe that's uncomfortable. Or something you want to share with somebody. Could be somebody here, could be somebody elsewhere. So find let's say three things that's either physically or mentally challenging for you to do, but you feel like you would like to do it, but it's just a bit challenging to do. Let's say, I'm not saying you have to do it, but you're just kind of testing yourself here a little bit by writing them down. If they're too difficult, don't worry. You could actually write a few things down. If you've got more than three things, that's fine. So some of the things can be really challenging and some can be less challenging, whatever comes to mind for you. You don't have to do them all. But hopefully one day you can do them all and you'll be able to do them with ease. You know, maybe you want to jump up on a table and dance, you know, next time you go out to eat. Well, Limor does it anyway.
Oh, I did dance after this Thai whiskey. I did dance on tables.
Exactly. Doesn't surprise me. So yeah, just write down some different challenging things for you, whether it's physical things or mental things. Just jot them down. You might have more than three things.
What are we doing? Sorry, what are we doing now?
You're just writing down some challenging things that you could go and try and do in your life. Like it could be something physical, like 20 press-ups, or it could be you're going to go to a dance that you feel a bit uncomfortable about going to. You might want to phone somebody you fancy and tell them you fancy them. You might want to tell.
So hard. I've been holding on to that for 2 years.
Right. So write down these things that might be challenging. I'm not saying you have to do them, so don't worry.
I don't have to do them. That's cool.
I'm not going to tell you to phone the guy now. I might do, but you can say no. But give yourself the challenge. If it feels a bit uncomfortable, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
This is not about trying to make it easy.
Okay.
Right. In life, not everything's easy in life. So often there'll be challenges where this isn't so easy for me to do. So if we can practice these things, then those difficult things become easier because we start getting used to challenging ourselves. Just like yoga, if we don't ever go through any challenge, we're never ever going to become a teacher in yoga because we have to keep on challenging ourselves to some degree. And it's exactly the same in life. If we don't challenge ourselves, we're not going to really, it's going to be difficult to grow or change something.
3 things.
Well, whatever you've got, it can be more than 3, actually. It can be as many as you want, because you can always come back to this page that you've written them down on and keep on challenging yourself or add to them, or take some away if you don't want to do them anymore. Now, have you got any that you could do now? Are there any that you could do kind of right now? Magic, is there any that you can do right now? One of them?
So one of them, the first one was exercise. So maybe I can just do some, I don't know, movements.
Well, challenge yourself. What challenging movement could you do?
Maybe push-ups or sit-ups. Yeah.
What would be challenging for you? How many?
Yeah, probably 30. Could
go
be
on then,
challenge.
go on then, we've got time.
Yeah. Okay.
You go.
Okay. Okay.
Shouldn't take too long for a strapping, young, handsome, strong man like that.
We can't see though.
That's right. We'll have to trust him, Medina, eh?
1, 2, 3.
I definitely trust Maciek that he's doing them.
Yes, you're right, actually. He's a trustworthy person, I reckon. I would agree.
Because he said he was going to do it. And
He seems like the person that wouldn't lie about that.
Let's see if he's out of breath when he comes back.
I hope you're doing the push-ups rather than the sit-ups, Maciek.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
I made it.
Nadine wouldn't have trusted me if she didn't see me on that one.
Wow.
Oh, that was good. Did you manage? How many did you manage?
Yeah, I exactly 30. Maybe I could do one more, but I was already. at
Okay,
the
that's
end.
interesting. Okay, that's quite interesting because you gave yourself a challenge. There was kind of just the right,
Yeah.
not too much. You could have done more though.
Yeah.
You played it a little bit safe. You could have given yourself 35, but
Yeah, maybe, but it will be really hard then. Yeah.
but you haven't done. The thing is, you haven't done 30 press ups properly for a long time. So
Yeah.
that's a good challenge. And how do you feel by doing it and completing them?
Happy.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Because you know you pushed yourself and you've done it. So that's great. Sometimes motivation comes from doing something first. Like, you know, some people say, oh, I need the motivation to do it. But sometimes you need to do it to get the motivation. You know, it's the opposite way around.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's good. Okay, let's go for Nadine. What have you got? Choose one that you can do now.
I don't really have one which I can do now, but I wrote down talking to a stranger. I mean, I can talk something, like I can say something to you. You are not really strangers, but it's also not so easy sometimes.
Well, okay, here we go. Here's the challenge. So say something, choose one of the people here. Who are you going to choose? Not me. Choose one of the others.
Maciek.
Maciek. And say something challenge, you know, come up with something challenging for you to say to him.
Yeah, I think it's
Hello, gorgeous.
Yeah, I really want to thank Maciek for we know each other now since I think almost 2 years, and I think it's like a nice little friendship in the meantime. And yeah, I really appreciate that we are still in contact, and also that you came to the Frido training. You didn't know anything about Frido in the beginning, and yeah, it's really beautiful. And yeah, I find it really amazing what you're doing, and I really see you like really improving. Yeah, since we met each other, like yeah, even if I don't know you for since a long time, but I really see in this short period of time that you're really like improving and self-developing, or I don't know how to say. So
Thank you.
it's really nice to see.
That's nice. Was that a bit challenging for you to do?
Yeah, it is actually.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Yeah, well done.
But it also, yeah, it feels also good to share it.
Yeah, and for me it was also a nice experience.
That's beautiful. How do you feel, Nadine? Now you've kind of faced a challenge.
Yeah, it's really good. It feels like it's really nice to share something what you think about another person, especially if it's a nice thing. I mean, it would be probably even more challenging if it's something I wouldn't like about Maciek to share this. I guess that's but I cannot think about anything right now. So.
Oh, I can think of lots of things I can say about Maciek. That he's rubbish at this. He's a terrible daddy, I heard. He doesn't buy his daughter enough things. That's what I heard. So that's nice. Yeah, my kids growing up, especially Maddie, she would often tell me the things that I was very bad at. Or she didn't like about me. Yeah. Okay, that's nice. So Limor, how about you? Have you got a challenge?
What? I've got big things. Nothing I can do now.
Well, let's find something for you to do that you can do now. What can you do now?
Exercise.
Could be either something meant like a communication through your voice, or it could be
an
exercise.
I like to communicate.
So maybe it could be something. Let's see now. What would be hard for you to do that you could maybe do?
Something hard.
Like, okay, let's say, choose one of your difficult things that you can't do now, but share one of them, a very important one for you. What would be a very important one on your list? Yeah, the one you're thinking about that you don't want to say.
I don't want to bite my lips.
Yeah, the one you know needs to be sorted out. So which one's that?
I can't even say it because I get too emotional.
Exactly. So exactly. So here's your challenge. Just saying it in front of people you trust, you know, friends who are not going to judge you and support you. And look how challenging that is. Right? That's challenging in itself. But so if you, that's a good challenge for you, because you're not going to get, it's going to be much harder to try and do that in your real life. This is a really good space for you to challenge yourself if you want to. I never want to over push you on it.
Okay, so I can just say that I wanted to send a message to a friend and say that I love him or something like stupid like that. Ridiculous. It's so like I really got crush on somebody and he's like he's super young and he's handsome and I don't know. What do you do?
But I'm embarrassed now. I'm getting a bit embarrassed. Is it me?
Really? Are you?
Is it me?
You don't look embarrassed.
Is it me?
No. It's what? Are you young and handsome?
Oh.
Imagination. It's nice. I like that.
Okay, that's nice. I pretend I'm this guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what's my name?
You want me to tell you your name?
Yeah. So I know who I am.
You want to gossip on me on Facebook?
No, okay, don't tell me the name. Talk to me like I'm this guy.
I can't even say that. I can just send him like pictures. You know what I did? I sent him this picture
What, naked pictures?
of my artwork.
Of your art? What? I missed that. Your art?
My artwork.
Oh, right.
Look, it's this. Look. Is it obvious? It says the.
You got dollars, American.
Yeah, what it says next to it? Can you see? Is it upside down, back to front in the camera?
I can't see anything else.
I point.
Nadine's normally quite good at this.
What does it says there?
Oh, there. I love you.
Yeah.
Ah.
You think that will be obvious?
Hang on a minute. Sorry. The object is what? You've made it for him?
No. We were just talking about shapes.
Ah, that's nice. That's beautiful. Says American guy, young guy.
I don't know if he's American. Maybe he says on his Facebook that he's American, but he's got really posh accent. So I don't know. Maybe he's English.
Okay, that's interesting. And that's great. So that's a really good one, isn't it? And what you worried about?
Rejection, things like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. So that might be quite interesting maybe to maybe try one day. Well, that was good though, because you shared it with us. So that was really good.
So that's it. I don't need to do anything about it.
Yeah. See, it wasn't so bad, was it? That was a good one. And you know what? Sometimes I know what you mean, though. You know, we all have crushes on people and we all like in our life and we'd like to share because we don't know how they feel about us. And sometimes, like you say, it's a bit embarrassing. It can be, or they might think we're an idiot. But I think it's important to share, you know, because it's like you're just saying that you love him. I mean, that's a really beautiful comment to receive, that someone loves you. You know, for whatever reason, they might think you're being fake. Who cares? But the point is, you're kind of, you know, there's something you obviously admire. You really enjoy his look. You know, you love his look. If you loved a cake, you would say, I love that cake. Or I love that dress. I love that color. It's like, I love that person, you know, maybe just the way they look. or their personality or whatever it is, or their energy. And it's like, it's quite a beautiful thing, isn't it? Just to say, I love you. You know, it's like, yeah, it's like talking to the chocolate cake and saying, I love you.
Yeah, I might do it on his birthday or like 2 days after or something.
Yeah. Or you could say things like, and maybe not I love you, but I love the things that you do love about him, that you feel maybe you
I
love.
really hate the guy.
You hate the guy, but there's some,
I do.
yeah, there's
I
some
hate
things.
him and love him at the same time. So
That's nice. Oh, that's called a relationship. that's what happens. Oh, that's nice. Well, that's beautiful. Well, let's see. Excited to hear what happens just by sharing that. Is that why it's like so important to share those things with people? I
you
tend.
know why? Because I heard I think I was listening to my older son, he was here from Leeds, and he was listening to a podcast, and the guy was talking about on deathbed, what would you say on the deathbed? And I was just imagining myself, if I don't say that and I'm gonna die without saying that, I will feel regret, right?
And you'll think you've been just a pussy, like idiot, like why not?
Yeah,
I
I will regret, because I don't have many things I regret. Usually I do my silly things.
Yeah. Like some people, I've got friends in my life, I will say I love you, and they don't always say it back, and that's fine, you know, because I just want to say it. Is that that's how I feel. So that's my responsibility. It's not my business if they say it back to me or whatever. That's not my business. My business is just how I feel and what I would like to just say or communicate. So try and think of it like that. It's just you expressing yourself. There's no expectation. Yeah, of course, you'd love him to say, yeah, I love you too. Let's get married. But, you know, honestly, there's nothing wrong with just saying, yeah, you love it, what you love about him. Nice. Very well done. Anyway, that's excellent. Adina, what have you got for us?
When I started, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, my life is already challenging enough. Like, do I need more challenges? Like, I really don't, because I already I feel like I'm challenging myself. But I've just done something around the I love you stuff recently, where I challenged myself the same way you said, like, you know, and if they don't say it back, fine. But anyways, but I've done that already, so I can give you a few more other examples.
Oh, well done for doing that already. That's cool.
High five.
Yeah.
There was another thing, like I could, I've been thinking of like running for 10 minutes every day, because it's a challenge for me to get started to do that, and it would be a nice thing, because I think I should be able to do that, but it's not something I've done. Or another thing, that to cycle to my classes over the winter, because it's cold out there. And I mean, like on Wednesday it was nice and sunny, and I didn't cycle, although I cycled to the hospital. But anyways, I've got a class this evening, so maybe I could cycle there.
Okay. Is it something you would like to do?
Yeah, it's something I had in my mind that I was going to do over the winter and keep cycling, because I've done that in the summer, but now it's cold, and I kind of got out of the habit, and I had the cold for 2-3 weeks. So I think, yeah. And another thing was like to go to the Canary Islands before Christmas.
Well, absolutely.
But the reason why this is a challenge, because I have a fear that I don't want to leave my partner here, and he can't come. So that's why it's a challenge.
Okay.
So shall I book my flight ticket now?
Absolutely. £75 return.
Yeah, I've seen, yeah. So
you could be sunning yourself. I mean, it's a funny one, isn't it? I mean, that comment is like, don't want to leave my partner here. It's like, it's kind of I understand it, but it's kind of a weird thing as well, isn't it? It's like, I can't ever leave my partner alone. I've got to be there all the time.
No, I mean, I left him alone so many times over the summer, like, but yeah, always it's a different situation.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I
So,
think
so it's
it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Yeah. The thing I would say to you is do whatever you decide to do it for yourself, do it for your own reason and not for someone else's.
yeah,
Whatever, if you feel like you want to stay because of that, and that's for you want to stay, then do it. And if it's for you that you want to go, then it's a challenge, yeah, for sure. But it's like, what's the point with being with someone, you've got to feel like that. I mean, that's really for me, that'd be a horrible, for me to be in a relationship with someone. I'm actually scared of doing certain things I want to do because I'm scared they'll be left alone. It's like, I'd hate that. Maybe there's some truth in it as well. Maybe you've got valid reasons as well. There could be truth in what you're saying as well. Yeah. Anyway, something for you to think about, isn't it?
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're not there,
So
we'll send you a postcard no matter.
So anyway, when are you planning the retreat?
Yeah, we're going to do
Cool.
probably two. We'll do one probably the end of, like the first week of, let's say, January, roughly.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll probably go out there mid-December in a couple of 2 or 3 weeks time, and we'll be out there for 2 or 3 months, and we'll probably do two retreats. We'll probably do one, I think the 3rd to the 9th of January, probably. That's the one we're looking at. I've got a few people already told me those dates, and then we'll do one probably mid-Feb or something.
Oh, okay.
At the beginning of Jan would be cool. Be lovely. It'd be lovely.
Oh, okay. For some
Yeah.
reason, I was thinking that it was going to happen like in a couple of weeks' time because like flight tickets are really, really cheap. But
They're cheap in beginning of Jan. They're quite good still, like because it's after Christmas or whatever, and before Christmas is normally good. We'll go out there. Yeah, we're going to go out there before. We'll go out there mid-December probably, so the flights will be cheap then as well. Come out there for a month.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the flight tickets just to say one more thing. Yeah, and then like now the flight tickets are like extremely cheap, like £25 return.
That is cheap. Yeah, that is cheap. Well, like I said, we're going to be out there for the mid-December, so retreat or not, we'll be there. So come out and we'll do yoga together and stuff. We'll have our own little retreat. Yeah, let me know anyway. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because we could even, if you came out early, you want to do something early, I'll just promote something for maybe a 3-day retreat I'll promote or something. Anyway, okay, that's cool. So that's your challenge, kind of. That's your to bike ride and to decide whether you're going to go to the Canary Islands. That's also a challenge because you'd like to go, but blah blah blah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you can do right now that's like a headstand or something that is a bit challenging right now, or something you can say out loud?
Well, I'm going to cycle to my class.
Okay. Yeah, we'll try. Can we trust you?
I started to charge my lights already.
Oh, okay. Can we trust you?
Let's see. Well, I'll try. I try.
Okay.
If last minute I cancel, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure whether to trust you because I'm not with you, so I don't know. But we'll see. I'm going to have to trust you on this one. So hopefully. All right. And Nadine?
No, I said already. No,
Oh, you said.
Adina can send a picture when she's on the bike.
Oh yeah, good. Video the bike ride. No, that's great. That's really good. Yeah, because this.
I'll send you a picture from the Canary Islands in 2 weeks' time.
Oh. So yeah, so that card is all about these challenging moments that we have, these challenging steps we're talking about right now, and the more practice we get with them, the better. They're so amazing because if we don't break through, we just end up suffering anyway. So it's just a question of how do we break through. We've got to break through, but how do we do it is the real question. So that's really good. We're going to finish with the ritual, which is beautiful. It's a stretching ritual. So just tune into your symbol before you do it. So just kind of check in with your symbol, your trust and your blame and your different symbols you're working with today. And just tune into them. You don't need to do any more. It's just retuning into that energy for a moment. And then we're going to do this amazing simple stretching. Just stretch a part of your body, any part. Could be your head, your fingers, your back, and just find a part you can stretch. And then find a point where it's a little bit painful. It's a little bit challenging, a bit uncomfortable, and hold it there. The problem with a lot of people in stretching, they don't hold it in the stretch. They come out of it as soon as they feel the stretch, but you want to hold it until it feels more comfortable. And then when it starts to feel a little bit more, if it doesn't feel more comfortable, just stay in it for longer if you can. But if it starts to feel more comfortable, either stretch a little bit more so you find a little bit of discomfort again, or change your stretch and do something new. So you're constantly trying to find more of this feeling of stretch, slightly out of your comfort zone in your body. You know, it doesn't have to be majorly, but it can be if you want. You know, it can be strong discomfort. But the point is you want to be able to have it where you can hold it in that discomfort, because that's the power in this card. If you can hold discomfort in your life, you know, you can just be there, you can stay with it. That's really powerful. And then, because if you can stay with it, you've then got a chance of moving through it. And then again, either when it relaxes the stretch, either stretch a bit more in the same stretch or find a new stretch. It doesn't matter really, as long as you're doing this process where you're finding the stretch, you're finding the discomfort, you're holding the discomfort until it relaxes a bit. Sometimes it can take a minute to relax, you know, a muscle. If you've overstretched it, just kind of ease off a bit. You know, don't overstretch yourself. Know that you can handle it. You're not going to do any damage. But you'll be amazed as well. Carry on doing this. You'll be amazed sometimes how much you can do, more than you think. Sometimes I go into a really deep stretch. I think that's going to be too much. But because I practiced it a lot now, it's like, wow. And the muscle just relaxes. So you're practicing putting your body through this feeling of stretching itself out of its normal comfort zone. The same as in life, when you're challenging yourself mentally, like you're facing some challenges mentally, that's the same thing. It's putting yourself out of your mental comfort zone. So this is also putting yourself out of your physical comfort zone. It can be mental as well, in fact, because sometimes the stretch can mentally be challenging as well, holding it in that kind of discomfort. You know, the idea is the more you feel that discomfort, the better. You know, that's what you want. That's what we're trying to do here. It's a weird sensation. So we're looking for the pain. You know, we're looking for it. So keep on finding a bit of discomfort. And even if it's not that uncomfortable, it's still good. It's still better than being 100% comfortable. Even if it's a bit uncomfortable, like a little bit of something, that's better than not being at all. You're still practicing that kind of stretching out of yourself, expanding out of your normal. And sometimes we find with stretching, tomorrow, the muscles pull back again. They go back to what they were before, and they still hurt again when we stretch them, because sometimes it takes time for them to expand into their new shape, like more permanently. But over time, if we continue to stretch and continue to stretch, gradually our body muscles form that new shape. And mentally as well, the more we practice going out of our comfort zone mentally, the more we say, I love you to strangers, then it suddenly becomes natural eventually. It's like a natural part of us, it becomes. It's not difficult anymore. But it takes some practice and practice and practice to get there. You know, if something's too uncomfortable, like you've tried to do something, it's too uncomfortable, and you then feel embarrassed or you've hurt yourself or something, then don't give up. Just step back a bit with all the steps, you know, and do something less challenging. Challenging, but less challenging. The point is never stop. Never just go back and stay there, because then you never change. It's like, you know, keep on, yeah, like, yeah, okay, I didn't do that step. It's okay, I'll come back. I'll make it a bit easy, a little bit easier next time. You know, it's still more of a challenge than not doing anything as well. So that's important to remember. So that's well done. So that's a really good ritual to practice. I do that a lot, that one. I love that stretching. And when you connect it to your symbol, it makes it a bit more powerful because it kind of connects it to your symbol actually. So it starts to stretch, you know, we don't need to overthink it on the ritual, but just because we've got the connection to our symbol, there's a connection there already. So we might find that our symbol starts to stretch a bit as well. All right, so give yourself a learning, a key learning for your journey today. It's a really challenging journey, this one, like to apply into our life. It's a really challenging symbol. You know, sometimes we come to a point in our life where we realize we don't have choice anymore because we don't want to stay where we are. You know, we don't have a choice anymore. It's like we have to go through that challenge because there's no way we're staying where we are. Once we start to really realize that more and more, and then make your affirmation from that learning. If you haven't already done it, create your learning affirmation. Just if you're teaching people, just say 2 or 3 words, if possible. In Frida, we're always trying to go into that simplicity, remember? Simplicity is really the key, because that's how we want to live our life, more simply. Everything to be more simple. Not boring, but just everything to be easy, to be simple. It's like Adina could simply book a ticket tonight and be on a plane in 2 weeks to the Canary Islands. I mean, how simple is that? If you just think about it, it's just simple, simple, simple. And with Limor, you know, just write this guy a message. I love you. I love all the things this and that. What I love. How simple is that, right? It's like, it's so simple. The act is so simple, but we make it complicated. So when you try and do something and it brings up that feeling of like resistance, let's say, or, you know, conflict or whatever, that's good because it's giving you the challenge. That's where it's showing you this card. It's saying, oh, this feels uncomfortable, because it's saying this is where you need to push yourself. So when you notice that in yourself, don't look at it as a negative. Think, oh, I don't like feeling like this. Think, no, this is something I need to do. It's showing me something I actually do need to do. And then give yourself one action. I know we've spoken about doing things already, but from this whole journey today, What action? It might be a repeat action that you've already mentioned, or it could be a new one. What action are you going to take place to prove your learning affirmation? So think about what you wrote down as your learning affirmation, and then what's the action you're going to do to prove that that learning affirmation is absolutely true. However easy or difficult that the action is, it doesn't matter, as long as it's going to prove that your learning affirmation is true. Otherwise, the affirmation just stays in your head as an idea. And what I would always urge you to be honest with yourself, you know, whatever you're going to write down. It doesn't mean like you have to carry it out, like Limor, you know, you don't have to. No one has to do anything, but at least put it out there, you know, write it down, observe it, to see what that feels like. You know, no one's saying we have to do anything, even if we say we want to do it. I think it's very important to be able to say, I want to do it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I would love to be able to do that. I'll always encourage people to say that to themselves, be honest, say that's what I would really love to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it or not. And then give yourself a, I've done my usual with the percentage. Maybe one day somebody remind me at the beginning of the session about the, oh no, you did do the percentages, didn't you? Yeah, I did it. So give yourself a percentage now at the end of your journey. Check in what percentage feels right for you. And remember, it doesn't matter. Don't judge yourself whether it's lower or higher or the same. Just try and feel what's right for you. Sometimes I do a journey and I think I'm actually worse than I was at the beginning because I feel a bit deflated because it might bring up something for me. And then we'll just go around with our final share. So maybe Limor can start us off. So just your final share.
What do you want me to share? Key learning.
No, it doesn't matter. Whatever you would like to share or not share today from your journey.
Okay, so we did conscious and I used the word support. I started with 6.5 and I chose chair, bed and my children because I've got 4 kids. It just feels like a support. Yeah, I feel support. I give support to my children, but also receive support from my children, and I like that. And then I wrote things that I want to do, that I need to do. A lot of things are really hard for me. And I shared with you. And we did stretches. Now I feel like I'm 8%. So from 6.5, I moved to 8. So I feel that and my affirmation is I allow support, because sometimes I'm very kind of angry and rebellious and I can do everything by myself kind of thing, but I understand that I can't do, because I've got like big dreams. I need support. I can't just do it by myself. And affirmation, I said, and the key learning, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. That's what growing feels like. Coming out of the comfort zone. And one anxious action, I need to call my sister and stretches in the morning.
Nice. Okay, thanks, Limor. And Adina?
So the affirmation is trust yourself, trust myself, or all happens for the best. And do I have to give another action?
If you want.
I'll try to think about that later.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thanks.
And Magic? If anything you want to share, your final share.
So the last ritual, yeah, was quite interesting, which give me the thoughts, as my symbol was is blame, and we've done the stretchings that actually the blame, it's not really real. So I came into, because of the stretching, that when I was stretching, the like eventually your body part became warm, and then this warmth like dissolved in your body. So it was like solid before, and later like fluid, and eventually disappeared. So and when you ask about the final affirmation sentence, I just came just straight away to this maybe a little bit cliche, but very known sentence, but this just came to me. Everything is just an illusion. And in the same moment when I wrote it down, I realized also that it is truth. You know, everything is an illusion, especially those kind of emotions and feelings which we are thinking they exist. They don't really exist. We are projecting them somehow, and we can, as we create them, we can just deconstruct them and let them free, so to say. So this is a really nice feeling which I get from today journey. And at the beginning, I give to myself 36%, and at the end 67. So I felt some improvement, and I want to share also about the push-ups. It was really a nice feeling, also just to push yourself with the push-ups, just to hit the limits, to realize that it actually it wasn't so difficult. Yeah, if I could done it just like that, if with a little bit effort, you know, I could be really good with it. Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah, and even if you did 27 push-ups, it's still great, right? You know, it's fine.
that's the thing. But you are going to your limits.
Yeah,
where, you know, yeah.
you're doing your best,
when
aren't
they
you?
are-
You're doing your best.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like with my kids, as long as you do your best, guys, you know, do your best. Great, doing your best. That's lovely. And Nadine?
I also really liked this stretching out of your comfort zone exercise today, because yeah, it just shows you, if you do it, if you just feel like really good and stronger, it gives you more confidence. Or yeah, I really like that. My affirmation is I'm empathic, but I think I still need to work on this understanding, because I started with 50%, but I have the feeling it's still on 50%, so which is a bit weird, because I definitely learned things, but I don't really understand it. Like it's difficult to explain. Yeah, I don't know. I need to think about it again. I realized something, but I'm still not quite clear what that means. So
Okay,
yeah,
yes,
so
that's,
it's, yeah, that's it.
that's great. Yeah, you said you don't quite understand it. You realize something, but you don't quite understand it. That's all. But you know something's there. You're obviously understanding something, or you're feeling something.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So that's a good observation. I can feel that. It's a good observation. That's really good. Yeah, keep on pushing yourself a little bit more, and gradually, you'll get the understanding.
Yeah.
When your child's learning something, keep on going, and you'll gradually understand it sooner or later. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. So tough one today. There's been a lot of kind of expansion today and stretching. So well done. Might have brought up a few challenges. Of course, this is meant to be a bit challenging, but not too challenging, but definitely brings up some challenge with this card. So great, that's brilliant. So if anybody wants to hang out for another 5 minutes, I'm still here. Or any questions anybody wants to ask, I'm still here. If anyone needs to go, you know the score. You can say goodbye or just cut off whenever you want.
Yes, I will say goodbye, and thank you guys for today's journey. It was really, as always, really informative, and yeah. So I hope to see you all next week. Yeah, I think yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm telling you a good day, and I'm going to bed. Lots of
Good
fun.
night.
Good night.
All right. See you soon, Magic. Lovely
See
to
you.
see you.
Bye,
Bye.
Magic.
Nice. That's right. It's a bit late in Taiwan land, isn't it? It's further on now. I think it's 11 o'clock or
Oh, wow. Oh,
12 o'clock.
I like what he said. I thought as that everything is illusion. That it's my projection. We can reconstruct, and when we realize it's our projection, we can reconstruct them.
Yeah, I think that's a really challenging idea as well, because it's like somebody might say, but that's not an illusion. That's real. This happening. But I think it's a real challenging idea, because I feel like my energy, the way I'm thinking and feeling as a person, is affecting my environment all the time. So it's affecting other people, how they respond to me, how we communicate. And I think what I feel sometimes is the way I am kind of creates, has a big influence on the environment. So if I feel like I'm a victim and I start being a bit victim feeling and thinking, that's going to kind of affect things around me. It's like at school. If you get someone who's a victim, I guarantee the bully will find them. They always find the victim, and the victim always finds the bully. Something to do with the way they are is attracting something. And the victim will always say, it's not my fault. It's nothing I'm doing, but the bully doesn't attack anyone else. So it's like, so I think you're right. The way we are definitely influences, our external people, how they behave, etc., etc. So I think you're right. It's very important to come back and start to become stronger in how we want to be. It's like, if we want to be happy, be happy. If we want to attract happiness or trust or anything else in our life, we've got to start acting like the way we want. There was an experiment done in businesses. I was reading a thing on it, a report, and it said they took 1,000 samples of businesses, and what they found was the bosses that did not trust their staff, the staff betrayed them, right? The boss didn't trust the staff, and the staff behaved in distrusting ways. And then other bosses who trusted their staff, the staff were very trusting. So it's kind of, was it the boss that was not trusting the staff, and because he wasn't trusting the staff, it was making them, you know, be deceitful. It's a bit like a relationship. When my ex-wife, my first wife or whatever, if she didn't trust me, the more she doesn't trust me, the more I'm going to try and break free, right? You know, because I'm going to feel that pressure. So I end up doing the very thing that she's accusing me of. So I think that's really, really challenging idea. And I think it's very important what you just said there, what Magic said. We can totally influence. And of course, what will happen is somebody, my wife will say, there we go, I was right. She'll tell all her friends that she was right not to trust me. But it was the very nature of her not trusting me that made me do those things. Not always, but, you know, I'm just saying. So there's definitely something to look at there, is our own behavior. We self-prophesize, isn't it? It's self-fulfilling prophecies.
Mhm.
If we think someone's bad to us, they end up being bad to us.
Mhm.
If we think we're never going to make money, we never make money, and we blame it onto those things. But we've got this mindset that we're never going to make the money. I think that's a very challenging idea, but I think there's some truth in there as well.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I'm not
So
saying,
just-
yeah, not totally truthful, but I think there's a big chunk of truth in there.
yeah, being conscious. So it's like what you attract. So if I'm in a you know, in a set idea that men are bastards, there's no point of me trying to find a relationship when I'm in that state of mind.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
what I will attract is just selfish men, and you know. So for me, the idea is that that's a distraction that my mind creates in order to distract me from what I'm focusing on.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And I have to, you know, focus on building myself up and see it as a distraction.
Yeah, I think it's also about, like, for me, it's always about like taking more self-responsibility, I feel, for me. So the more I feel self-responsible for everything, the more empowered I tend to feel, even if it's not true all the time, but just the more responsibility I take. I went on this course years ago and they said, you know, try and take the responsibility on for everything in your life, you know, your partners, your experiences, because it's not whether it's true or not true, but just the mindset of taking on the responsibility gives you power, because it means if I created it, it means I can change it. You know, it gives me more power, rather than me saying it's not my fault. It's not my fault anymore. I couldn't help that person that are bullying me or attacking me, but that's disempowering. So it doesn't matter what the truth is. What matters is what's going to empower me. And for me, it's saying, look, I chose to be there. My reactions led, you know, danced with that bully. You know, the way I was, the bully attacked me because of also my own behavior and how I reacted to him. I know that because I've seen people who react to bullies in different ways and there's a different outcome. And also, there's no good me going home and saying, oh, I couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't my fault. That's completely disempowering. It's like, no, hang on a minute. What was my part to play there? You know, maybe I can go on self-defense lessons, you know, because if that happens again, I'm going to beat the shit out of that guy. You know, take some self-responsibility on.
That's beautiful.
I think that's quite challenging though, but yeah.
No, but this is the path, you know. Like, for example, I'm always late. Not always. Important things I'm on time. But I'm like, in part of me saying, oh, this is my nature and I, you know, that's the way I am. No, I have to take responsibility and change it, right? So
yeah, if you want to. And then that comes back to that question. If you don't want, maybe the truth is you don't want to be early sometimes. You know, you're more comfortable sometimes being late. You know, that also, it might show you.
I was in time for the live drawing yesterday. It was
Well,
amazing.
But all I'm saying is, if you want to be on time, be on time. If you don't want to be on time, don't be on time. Take responsibility. It's like, yeah, I'm responsible.
Yeah,
If I'm going to be late, that means I didn't want to be on time.
yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'll see you next week.
Oh, my darling, nice to see you.
And you.
See you soon. Have a
you.
good one. Enjoy. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Good luck with your lover.
No, I decided it's my distraction now. See you later.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's funny. Oh, should I maybe turn the recording off?
Yeah, I think I also come off because it's too